What if everything you thought you knew about this royal drama was only half the story, and the real shock is what insiders are now quietly suggesting? The conversation around Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has just taken another intense turn. And this time it's not just rumors. It's coming from people who claim to be closer to the situation than ever before. And let's just say the claims are explosive. We always discuss celebrity news, so don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We're talking about a brand new book making waves, one that doesn't hold back. According to reports, it paints a picture of deep tension, fractured relationships, and a transformation that many say is impossible to ignore. But here's the real question. Is this truth, exaggeration, or something in between? Because one of the biggest talking points revolves around a statement allegedly linked to Queen Camilla, suggesting that Meghan had a powerful influence over Harry. A claim like that isn't just controversial, it's headline fuel. And naturally, reactions have been intense. Some believe it explains everything: Harry's distance from the royal family, his public frustrations, and his dramatic shift in lifestyle. Others say it's much simpler than that. They argue this is just what happens when someone falls deeply in love. So which is it? To understand this, you have to look at the timeline. Before Meghan entered the picture, Harry was often seen as the most relatable royal, charismatic, spontaneous, even rebellious in a way that made him widely loved. He had his struggles, yes, but he also had strong connections, friendships, and a defined role. Then everything changed. Quickly. Within a short period, his priorities shifted, his public tone changed, and eventually, he stepped away from royal duties altogether. That kind of transformation doesn't go unnoticed, and that's exactly what this new narrative is focusing on. Supporters of the book claim this wasn't just a natural evolution. It was something more strategic, more calculated. They describe a scenario where emotional vulnerabilities may have played a role, where timing, influence, and personal connection all collided in a powerful way. But here's where it gets complicated. Because critics of this perspective say it crosses a line. They argue that reducing a relationship to manipulation dismisses Harry's own agency and ignores the possibility that he made these choices consciously. So again, what's really going on here? Another detail raising eyebrows is how distant Harry has reportedly become from his old circle. Friends he once spent years with are now barely part of his life. For some observers, that's a red flag. They point to a familiar pattern where isolation can happen gradually, almost invisibly. But others say life simply changes. People move, priorities shift, and relationships evolve. Still, the timing of it all has people asking questions. And then there's the claim that certain members of the royal family, particularly Prince William and Princess Catherine, felt uneasy early on. Not necessarily hostile, but cautious. According to sources, they believed things were moving too fast, too intense, too soon. Now, whether that concern came from experience or instinct is up for debate, but it adds another layer to an already complex situation, because when multiple perspectives start pointing in the same direction, people start paying attention. Sometimes the loudest truth is the one nobody wants to hear, and right now, the noise around this story is impossible to ignore. What makes this even more intriguing is the reaction coming from Harry himself. Reports suggest he's deeply frustrated, angry even, about how he and Meghan are being portrayed, which raises another question. If the claims are completely false, why respond so strongly? But if there's truth to them, why not address them directly? It's a dilemma that keeps the conversation alive. And then there's the bigger picture, their public image. Once seen as a powerful modern royal duo, their brand has faced challenges. Projects haven't always landed as expected. Public perception has shifted, and critics argue that stories like this only add to that pressure. But supporters say it's all part of a larger narrative designed to undermine them. So who's right? Because beyond the personal drama, there's something bigger at play, a clash between tradition and independence, between legacy and reinvention, between staying within the system or walking away from it completely. And that's what makes this story so compelling. It's not just about two individuals, it's about what they represent. And maybe that's why emotions run so high, Because everyone sees something different in this situation. Some see betrayal, others see freedom, some see manipulation, others see love. Truth doesn't shout, it reveals itself over time. And right now, we're still in the middle of that reveal. So where does this leave things? Honestly, uncertain. Because as more stories surface, more perspectives emerge, and the full picture becomes harder to define. But one thing is clear. This isn't over. Not even close. And whether you believe the claims, question them, or sit somewhere in the middle, this story is going to keep evolving. So stay with it. Because the next chapter might change everything. And before you go, if you found this breakdown interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Starlight Stories. For more deep dives like this, we've got a lot more coming. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.